And now at 6, exclusive details on the search for an escaped Rhode Island inmate. The Massachusetts community now being searched.
It's a story that really shows that the opioid epidemic has no boundaries. A baby nearly dies after ingesting a dangerous drug. I'll have that story live from Methuen.
All right, Alicia, we'll see you then. And the waiting game is on. We will head live to Gillette as the Patriots prepare for 3 possible playoff matchups.
This is NBC Boston News at 6.
But we begin at 6 with NBC Boston exclusive video. Massachusetts police searching for an escaped Rhode Island convict in the Metro West. That man is still at large tonight. Good evening, everyone. Thanks for being with us. I'm Shannon Malaire.
And I'm Phil Lipoff. The search for James Morales is now focusing on Framingham, where the car he's believed to have stolen was discovered today.
And tonight, 2 correctional officers who were on duty when Morales escaped are off the job. NBC Boston's Perry Russum has been following the story since early yesterday, and he joins us now live with exclusive details. Perry.
Those correctional officers are under investigation for policy violations, and in the last hour, the U.S. Marshal's Office released a new wanted poster for James Morales. They say he may be armed and is considered extremely dangerous. This is video you will only see on NBC Boston. Federal and state officers searching for the escaped prisoner, James Morales, in Framingham.
Yeah, it's nerve-wracking, especially when you live here with kids. It's not comforting.
A police source telling us this is where Morales' ex-girlfriend lives, and the car he stole was found empty only a block away.
So yeah, I am nervous because I have no idea what his relationship was to the neighbors next door. I don't know if he was affiliated with a woman that lives there.
Morales has been on the run since in Central Falls, Rhode Island.
He was working his way to somewhere.
The first inmate to escape from the high-security prison in more than 20 years, climbing the razor wire fence, stealing a car in Attleboro. State police remain quiet on the investigation, saying they can't give out specific steps for tactical reasons.
I just hope that they, catch the guy before he does any harm to anybody else. That's it.
And new information tonight coming from the prison warden. He says Morales climbed up a basketball hoop, jumped rooftop to rooftop, and then cut his way through a fence on his way to freedom. Live in Framingham, Perry Russum, NBC Boston.
All right, Perry, thank you. And a 10-month-old girl is recovering tonight at the hospital after an amazing survival story. Police say she was actually exposed to the dangerous opioid fentanyl. Our Alicia Rodriguez is live in Methuen where Alicia, neighbors were especially caught off guard here.
Yeah, Phil, I mean, many communities are dealing with the opioid crisis, and Methuen is no exception. And in this quiet neighborhood, a baby girl somehow found herself in the middle of the crisis, nearly dying after being exposed to a dangerous drug. Brought back to life twice.
The baby coded and was resuscitated by hospital staff on 2 occasions.
A 10-month-old baby girl ingested fentanyl, a potentially deadly drug often used to cut heroin. The investigation now intensifying into how a child so small could have been exposed to this powerful narcotic.
Trace amounts on an individual that small could prove to be deadly.
Methuen police were called to this upscale neighborhood to a home on Treetop Way Saturday afternoon for a baby having trouble breathing. She was taken to Lawrence General Hospital, then med-flighted to Tufts Medical Center in Boston. Tests there proved she did have fentanyl in her system. Investigators at her home took several items as evidence, including drug paraphernalia found in her mother's car. They won't say what else they found, but do say criminal charges are possible. The baby is expected to recover.
It's very difficult to deal with a young child who has become a victim in that aspect. So.
The baby's family is cooperating with police on this investigation. Reporting live in Methuen, Alicia Rodriguez, NBC Boston.
Alicia, thank you. And fentanyl has grabbed the headlines in Methuen today as police there make a huge and unrelated bust to the last story we brought you. Police received a call this morning for a man with a gun in a taxi. When police arrived, they found Robinson Rojas Rosario inside with a duffel bag on the floor. Inside, they say they discovered 15 kilos of fentanyl, worth approximately $1.2 million. Rosario, of course, now facing major trafficking charges.
All right, an update now to a story we were following throughout the 4 o'clock hour. Sky Ranger was above the scene as rescuers were able to help a horse there that fell through the ice on a pond in Templeton. There was a large response as a crane was then brought in to hoist the horse up safely. Rescuers covered that horse then with blankets to warm him up. You can see there but he's doing okay. Eventually back on his feet. Good news there. Live look tonight from Dorchester. The little bit of a quiet commute, which is good news for those of you on the road on this final day of this holiday stretch.
So what's in store for the return of work tomorrow? Those of you who have the day off, congratulations on that. Meteorologist Pete Bouchard joins us with the answer. Hey, Pete.
We're just bringing everybody down, aren't we? Hey, got to go to work and school tomorrow. Hey, this brush of rain, it didn't really run up into southern New England all that well today. That's part of a bigger storm system that will be affecting us through tomorrow and tomorrow evening. We are going to get wet. We're not going to get away from this one. There is really no cold air to speak of across New England either. And our temperatures will hold tonight in the lower and mid 30s. Not much of a drop off. The closest the showers got, Connecticut and southern Rhode Island. Also, just a few sprinkles down through Acushnet and Buzzards Bay over to about New Bedford. Other than that, we'll see these sprinkles continue to pop up through the course of the night and into tomorrow as well. 39 turns to 37. We stay essentially cloudy other than that, and it's quiet. Unlike tomorrow, when we get into the wind, we get into the rain, we have the timeline on that, and we have as much as a ½ inch to maybe 3/4 of an inch of rain expected. Latest coming.
All right, Pete, thank you. We'll see you soon. I'm knocking on wood as I say this. The Patriots prime for another run to the Super Bowl.
Right, the Pats capped off the regular season with a big win down in Miami, and they're back home tonight. Sports anchor Raul Martinez was with the team yesterday, and he is back with them today live at Gillette. I see you got a jacket on today. You had nicer weather yesterday, Raul.
It was too hot in Miami. I like it much better here. You know, the Patriots got what they wanted in the regular season. Now, as the top seed in the AFC, the focus turns to the divisional round, and we do know they will play a week from Saturday at 8:15 right here at Gillette Stadium. They'll face one of 3 opponents, either the Texans, the Raiders, or the Dolphins. They've already beat Houston and swept Miami, and they did it with 3 different quarterbacks, Brady, Garoppolo, and Brissett. Yesterday, Tom Brady threw 3 touchdowns against the Finns in Miami to clinch that home field throughout. This is the 6th time the Pats have earned the 1 seed, and all under Bill Belichick and Tom Brady. They made the Super Bowl 4 out of those previous 5 times. Now, Matthew Slater is a veteran and a captain of this team. Talking to him today, he made it clear this is special, but they have a lot of work to do.
The older you get, you understand how hard it is to get here, and you understand that you don't know how many more you have. So if anything, it makes you cherish it more, realizing, hey, man, these opportunities are hard to come by. I hope we don't take it for granted. I hope we go out here and take advantage of the opportunity that we have.
Yeah, they're in total focus mode. Now, coming up a little later in sports, success means that bad teams want the guys under Bill Belichick as their next head coach, and a couple of them are getting some major interest. We'll tell you all about it in just a few minutes. We're live in Foxborough. I'm Raul Martinez, NBC Boston.
Welcome home, Raul, and thank you. A reminder that NBC Boston is your home for the Patriots through the playoffs. Complete coverage on air and online. Just log on to NBCBoston.com or our free NBC Boston app.
All right, also this evening, normally throwing rocks at windows would be considered vandalism, but in this case, it may have saved lives in Oxford. A 4-alarm fire broke out around 2 a.m. this morning at a hair salon and also the attached apartment on Main Street. A woman who lives inside said she was woken up by someone passing by who banged on the door and started throwing rocks at her windows. Everyone inside made it out safely, thankfully. Firefighters who responded also had a scare as they became disoriented, issuing a mayday call. They were able to escape out of a second-floor window. NBC Boston Sky Ranger up over Northborough today, where a 2-alarm fire destroyed a family's home. 2 people were inside at the time. They were not hurt. Fire department worked for several hours to put the fire out. Still unclear what started that fire in the first place.
A series of fires across the state in recent days has the Red Cross asking for your help tonight. Dozens of people were displaced after this particular fire in Lynn on New Year's Day. Well, the community has stepped up with a huge amount of donations. The Red Cross stepped in to help them out with housing and some other immediate needs. But with so many fires recently in Massachusetts displacing so many people, Red Cross resources are being stretched pretty thin.
These disasters really happen every single day around the state, and our volunteers are out there. And it's the donations that people make to the Red Cross that helps get these people that are affected by these home fires and disasters back on their feet.
Believe it or not, that huge fire did briefly rekindle earlier on today. However, firefighters were able to quickly put it out again.
Scary wake up for several people in Nashua, New Hampshire after a car crashed into a pair of buildings. This here was the aftermath of a Chevy Tahoe SUV crashing into a home on Harbor Avenue around 2:30 this morning. That car ripped off the gas meter from a multifamily home before stopping next to a second multifamily. The first building also sustained major structural damage. 3 additional homes were also evacuated while the gas company isolated the gas. Fortunately, no one was hurt, and that includes the driver.
Following the developing story out of Turkey tonight, where police remain on the hunt for a suspect in that New Year's nightclub attack. Police launching an operation tonight in an Istanbul neighborhood after 8 people were detained earlier on today. 39 people were killed when gunmen opened fire in that popular nightclub. He was captured on surveillance video. You see it here. The deputy prime minister tells us police have fingerprints and a good description of him. One American was injured in that attack, but is already headed back home to the States tonight.
In Washington, D.C., the new Congress set to be sworn in tomorrow as controversy swirls around Donald Trump and his response to Russian hacking allegations. Over the weekend, Trump told reporters that he, quote, knows things others don't about the hacking allegations and that he would release more information soon. Speaking on the Today Show this morning, incoming press secretary Sean Spicer continued to raise doubts about the intelligence that was gathered.
This report that everyone sees is taken as gospel truth right now is not even final. It's not supposed to be finalized until later this week. So there are questions as to why we're taking the actions that we're taking in the proportion that we are without the report even being finalized.
Meanwhile, Arizona Senator John McCain is set to hold a hearing on the hacks this week. President Obama back in Washington, D.C. tonight after his Hawaiian vacation. Next week, he'll return home to Chicago to give the final speech of his presidency. Mr. Obama says his farewell speech on January 10th will be a chance to say thank you for his journey as president and also to celebrate the way the country has changed. People are encouraged to share their memories of President Obama with the hashtag #YesWeCan.
New details about a fire at an historic church in New Hampshire. Coming up next, the crime spree the man believed responsible went on in the days following that fire.
Also ready for liftoff again when SpaceX is now planning to resume flights after identifying a cause for last year's explosion.
And how about this? Breaking bad habits with a zap? Leslie Gaidos joins us to explain whether this device could be the jolt you need to keep your resolutions.
Welcome back. Residents in Lebanon, New Hampshire breathing easier tonight after police caught a man suspected in a crime spree that lasted nearly a week. Police say the terror started last Wednesday when Anthony Bovar set fire to a 150-year-old Baptist church on School Street. Early the next morning, he started another fire at a private garage, and then just yesterday, he stabbed 2 people in a bloody rage. Now police are investigating possible connections with other unsolved crimes.
All right, we've got a heads up for those of you driving through Boston. Starting tomorrow, you will have to bring a lot more quarters for the parking meter in the city's busiest neighborhoods. Listen to this. The city's starting a pilot program to raise rates to $3.75 an hour in the Back Bay. Rates are also going up in the Seaport District, with prices changing based on location, even time of day. City officials say the program will help open up more parking, I bet, and also bring prices in line with other major cities.
Yeah, because guess what? You'll be dropping me off in the Back Bay the next time I go in there.
You drop me off at the block and then you park? Perfect.
All right, sticking to your New Year's resolutions can be downright painful, especially if it involves exercise, right? New device, though, taking commitment to a whole new level.
Especially if it involves this. Consumer reporter Leslie Gaidos joins us to explain. I'm fascinated by this one, Leslie.
Yeah, new year and a new you, but just how far would you go to break that bad habit? This is a new wearable device called Pavlok. It delivers a semi-painful zap or a jolt to your wrist every time you do something you're trying to avoid, like smoking or biting your nails. The goal is to retrain your brain.
when you catch yourself biting your nails, a few zaps will make you stop desiring it. If you are at a dinner party and you want to reduce your cravings or resist the cookies, a few zaps will make cravings go away.
We recruited a heavy smoker who's been trying to kick the habit for good to try it out. I've played around with it myself. Has she had success? You'll find out tonight at 11.
All right, Leslie, thank you. I'm intrigued and a little bit frightened, but we'll see you
A little
then.
bit scary.
Snow, lightning, rain, and ice. That is what thousands of Americans are dealing with on their trek home from a long holiday weekend. Overnight rainstorms blew through Texas. Meantime, in the Northwest, many are digging out of feet of snow. See, it could be worse. Slick surfaces and dangerous driving conditions cause travel problems at several airports. Even President Obama and his family dealing with some bad weather, returning to rainy, cold D.C. from sunny Hawaii. Much different scene in Southern California today for the 128th annual Rose Parade, which you saw here on NBC Boston. Beautiful, right? Thousands lined the streets of Pasadena to watch the gorgeous hand-decorated floats tour the city. Also hitting the parade route, marching bands from USC and Penn State, who are, of course, playing in the actual Rose Bowl. The theme of this year's parade was Echoes of Success.
Sort of like the People's Parade. It's
That's
just,
right.
you know, the weather was a little bit nicer.
Yeah, I don't think, Pete, that they had the rain and the wind back in the 30-degree temperatures we had New Year's Eve.
No, I don't think so. No, that was special for us. Yeah, 39 degrees. Boston right now feels like 33. East-southeast wind about 8 miles per hour. Not a strong wind out there. Not a big deal just yet. There's some mild air. Okay, maybe it's really warm down through Atlanta and Montgomery, Alabama. This is where we're going to get our storm. It's coming from this. So, of course, it drags up whatever's down there, which is rain, wind, and those mild temperatures, too. We will get those not tomorrow. Got to wait for it. By Wednesday. So the showers were glancing us today. We just got them up to New Bedford and out through Cape Cod as sprinkles, too, mind you. It wasn't a rainy day. The clouds were thickening. This whole arm of rain just kind of drifts away. That's it, right? Well, no. There's another caboose of rain here. Back with severe weather in the deep south that moves up the eastern seaboard. That's our storm. We're going to develop a nice low pressure system in the middle of that, increase the winds too. There's a warm front on this storm, but no, not really warm until after it passes. While it's passing, we'll get plenty of rain, and that's tomorrow evening too. But between this low and this front here, on Wednesday, we do sneak in a mild day. I know with blue here, you're thinking snow across northern New England. Sure, there might be a few flakes there, but southern New England, if we bring out in that sun, 50 is fair game. Here's the timeline on the showers tomorrow. First, starting off is some sprinkles and showers, nothing too huge. And then we get into the latter half of the afternoon. Anytime between 3 and 5 o'clock, this is when the rain gets heavy and goes through the evening drive. The time seems to be right around 4 o'clock that we get into it, and we don't come out of it until after 7. So it's a dandy of a commute tomorrow. Our temperatures make it into the lower 40s in Weymouth and up through Portsmouth, about 40 degrees. Boston, about 43. Could bring up the 50-degree temperature on Cape Cod or the islands. The models don't really have the best handle on those situations. When you get a coastal storm like this, we've seen this happen with the winds turning out of the southeast just on the Cape. Elsewhere, they'll be northeast and they'll be nasty. Worcester only 39 and Fitchburg about 39. At stake here, at least a half-inch of rain, maybe even 3/4 of an inch, or, I mean, we're closing in on some places, maybe picking up just nearly an inch tomorrow thanks to those downpours. The wind is the other issue coming in out of the east-northeast, and by tomorrow afternoon, along with that evening drive with the heavy rain, we'll have some gusts maybe by 10 or 11 o'clock after the commute to near 50 miles per hour. Overnight tonight, about 35 degrees, cloudy with a few sprinkles in the extended forecast. The colder air comes back Thursday. Yeah, we just sneak in that 50-degree reading on Wednesday. That's only for one whole day. Watching a possible storm on Friday, but at this point, I'm not sold, so I'll put flakes in there, and we can discuss it in later forecasts. Have a good night.
And I bet we will. Pete, thank you. SpaceX says it is ready to fly again. Elon Musk's rocket company has been grounded since September 1st, when you'll remember one of its Falcon 9 rockets right there exploded on the launch pad during an engine test firing. In a statement today, SpaceX says the likely cause was an unexpected interaction of several chemicals. The company says it's ready to send another rocket into orbit as soon as Sunday, with workarounds to prevent another explosion. Rogue One is still #1, the latest Star Wars spin-off taking the box office title for the 3rd weekend in a row. It earned $64.3 million over a 4-day weekend. That brings its North American total to about $440 million. The animated film Sing, once again, came in second with a strong $56.4 million. And speaking of movies, NBC Boston is your place to be for this Sunday's Golden Globe Awards show. Our Jackie Bruno is heading out to Los Angeles. I even understand she's got her outfit picked out already for the red carpet. Her reports start Friday at 4 o'clock.
And with Jackie, we know it will be fabulous.
Very nice.
All right, Patriots cruise through the regular season, but now comes the fun part.
So, of course, it's on to the playoffs for the Pats. Raul Martinez is with the team at Foxborough tonight. Raul, what's coming up?
Yeah, so Tom Brady has been in this position before. Get his take as we head into the postseason. Plus, it's that time of year where veterans give the rookies some special haircuts. We've got one you want to stick around for. Sports is next.
Welcome back, everyone. Time for sports and the regular season now in the rearview mirror for the Patriots.
Hard to believe, right?
Happened quickly.
Man, our Raul Martinez joins us now live from Gillette Stadium as the focus now turns to the playoffs. Hey, Raul.
Yeah, absolutely, Shannon and Phil. It goes by so fast, but the Patriots are certainly a happy group. They don't have to play until a week from Saturday. They get to watch their potential opponents beat each other up this weekend, and they don't have to travel unless they're heading to Houston for Super Bowl 51. And the total focus right now is on themselves. They're not going to worry about the Texans, the Dolphins, or the Raiders. That will all sort itself out. Yesterday, New England swept Miami with ease, and that made the top seed official. They'll play Saturday, January 14th at 8:15 in the divisional round. Tom Brady has been in this position before. If you make the playoffs, you're usually a pretty darn good team.
We'll be watching next week, and some team's going to win, and they're going to look really good. And you're going to, oh my God, we got to play those guys. And you just got to go put the work in.
It's a fresh start, so we need to get our bodies right and, keep our mind on football and, let this sink in that we know, we might have a shot. So we have to go out here and just get healthy and just get ready to play some ball.
By the way, we're your home for Wild Card Weekend this Saturday at 8:15. The Seahawks will host the Lions right here on NBC. If Seattle wins, they go to Atlanta. If Detroit wins, they head to top seed Dallas in the NFC. Now, so far, there are 6 coaching vacancies in the NFL, and a few of these teams are interested in Bill Belichick's top coordinators. Let's start with offensive coordinator Josh McDaniels, who reportedly is getting interest from 3 teams. Multiple reports say the Jaguars, the 49ers have requested interviews, and the Rams appear to be showing interest as well. And Los Angeles also may be interested in the Pats defensive coordinator, Matt Patricia. And that's not all. The Chargers are reportedly asking for permission to speak to Patricia. We shall see who might go. And finally, take a look at Joe Thuney. When you are a rookie in this league, the veterans do this to you. Oh, man, and the poor guard got a buzz right down the middle of the head. He played it off well, saying it was getting long, so he needed a change. I tried to picture that on myself, guys. Oh, man. I don't think I'd look very good. That's all from Foxborough. We're live out here. I'm Raul Martinez. Back to you.
Hard to pull that look off, I'd say.
I'm picturing it right now.
Yeah. With a little Photoshop, we really could picture it.
We may have to do that to Raul at some point.
Up next on NBC Boston News at 6, a Maine farmer helping lead the charge to save a rare breed of pig.
But the method, we'll say, is a little unorthodox. Why making sure these pigs have a future hinges on them becoming someone's dinner. That's next. Finally tonight, a farmer in Maine is gaining some national attention for his mission to save a rare breed called the mulefoot.
Yeah, and they say the key to conserving them may be eating them. Susan Frank's farm in Washington, Maine has won a $50,000 grant from the USDA to market the mulefoot pig, named for its unique hoof, known for its marbled and decadent meat. Aren't they cute? Frank thinks by selling, breeding, and slaughtering more of them, it will create a...
More and more people will start hopefully asking for mulefoot pork.
So Frank there has started to sell mulefoot meat to top restaurants in Portland, Portsmouth, and Boston as well. It's certainly a unique way to go about it, but there you go.
All right.
Final little niche there, yeah. Hey, we have rain on the forecast for tomorrow.
Right.
Ooh, imagine that. Yeah, heavy stuff by the time we get into tomorrow afternoon, tomorrow evening too. Beware for the evening drive, and it looks like we'll have a warming trend by midweek.
All right, thanks. That's all for NBC Boston. I'm Phil Lipoff.
I'm Shannon Malaire. For Pete and everyone else, Nightly News.